My hair is not styled, so don't come for me. Welcome back to another secret diary entry. I might make this a thing. It feels good to have a space to peel back a layer and get real on the internet and talk about more deep topics, maybe controversial topics. I think I've been craving a space to step away from superficial content and post more meaningful things. Maybe, I don't know, just share my thoughts, even though my audience is small. I have been wanting to contribute to the internet in a more meaningful way rather than just outfits and fashion and OOTDs, which there's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, it feels good to be more human on a corner of the internet. So I might make this a thing. I don't know. I feel like I'm talking to 5 people, but I kind of like that. Feels like a secret. I'm not into like future telling, like daily horoscopes and shit like that. I really enjoy astrology as a tool to just help us better understand our personalities and get to know ourselves better. So I don't necessarily agree with using astrology as like a whole like divination. I think it's something fun and innocent the way that I wish to apply it to my life. So I'm not a witch. So I was born on February 18th, which is the cusp of Aquarius and Pisces, aka the cusp of sensitivity, which makes so much sense for me because Aquarius is so analytical and logic, and Pisces is so sensitive and emotional. And I'm constantly like battling between the two. And I wanted to talk about it because I think it's so interesting. And this specific dynamic is showing up in my life a lot right now. And I think it's just relative to current affairs, my current affairs. I don't know. And I think it's really interesting. So if you are also on the Aquarius Pisces cusp, this video I feel like could prove useful to better getting to know yourself. I would also argue to say that naturally this means that you're like a silent yearner. And boy, do I yearn. I yearn. And, but it's not, I can't easily express it. It's like I'm detached but deep. I also find mystery very sexy. To be mysterious yet warm, I would say, is a good description of being an Aquarius Pisces cusp. Sensitive, but also independent. I would say the worst quality about being on this cusp is idealism. That is the biggest issue, I feel like. And I would like to break that down. I feel like Pisces looks at friendships as these sacred bonds, and Aquarius looks at friendships as like partnerships in originality and growth. And when you mix that together, I feel like naturally we have this like expectation for everyone else to meet the expectations that we hold ourselves to. And as an Aquarius cusp person, I don't feel like my standards are that high. In truth, I just want someone just like me. This is where it starts to sound like, I'm lacking humbleness, which couldn't be further from the truth. Like I'm just a little ant in this world. I'm just a little peon. I'm constantly met with, why is it so hard to find like-minded individuals to connect with? Maybe that is the Aquarius side of me that craves like a closeness, but at the same time, like we by no means have to speak every day. Like you have your own things going on, I have my own thing going on. We don't have to beat up each other's ass, but we expect everyone else to get that and be that way and just naturally be perfectly rounded human beings. And as much as I like to kid around and say that I am, especially when I'm arguing with my partner, I know it's not true because I obviously have many flaws and I am not perfect. But I do feel like at the core of it, just like core values shouldn't be that hard to find. And that's where that idealism kicks in, and that ultimately leads to disappointment, especially in romantic relationships. It's like if you cannot even hold a candle to the golden ideal image of what I think a partner should be, I'm not even going to give you the time of day. Or it's like if I like you and I like your personality and like we definitely have a connection, I'll entertain it, but I'll immediately like cross you out for like serious relationship potential if I don't see what I need to see from you. Like we can have fun, but like we're not, it's never going to progress into something serious. And I low key feel like it's a superpower of mine to be able to, like, I could just read someone like that, whether or not they really have potential for me. Another huge trait of Aquarius, which is something that I touched on in my last video, is I don't like when people can't think for themselves and lack originality. And in combination with Pisces sensitivity, there's a constant feeling of no one being able to match my energy, basically, that I always feel. This idealism issue shows up in romantic relationships in the way that my Pisces side falls in love with the potential that someone has, like the potential that I could see them, the version of them that I could see them becoming. But then the analytic Aquarius side of me takes over, and that kind of keeps me from staying in like dead end relationships or staying with partners that have nothing going for them ultimately, or who are never going to reach their goals, who like lack motivation or like any of that bullshit. So I guess it's good. But here's where it gets fun. My Aquarius side, I crave freedom and detachment. The Pisces side of me craves closeness and emotional intensity. Independence is a huge thing for me. Independence of everything, independence of thought, independence of self, having my own persona, my own brand, independent routine, independent career, just complete and total self identity. Um, Being rooted in that is very important to me. But at the same time, in relationships, I want a best friend. I love the friends to lovers trope. And I feel like that's like, that totally aligns with me as a person because I think it's so important to be friends, to be best friends first, like to like each other, to like hanging out with each other. But also something that's always been so unsettling to me is like codependency and like losing yourself in a relationship and losing your identity and your like sense of self. Like that scares me. I intend to be all in one day and just totally distant the next. Not even like in a mean way. I mean, like sometimes I can be mean, but just in like a I don't really am needing much from you today. I'm just doing me. I'm in my own realm. So, yeah, maybe that's like a laid back thing. I also loathe when in long term relationships things feel stagnant. I absolutely need that spark to be kept alive. Like the flirting, the chasing, the cat and mouse, the whole thing. Like, I always crave that and uh, need that kept alive in some way, shape, or form. However, I am a creature of routine. It's a funny thing to balance out, but when you find the right person, I feel like it just kind of falls into place and it comes naturally. Also, bring back flirting because I love to flirt. I think that's like the Pisces side of me too, but flirting is great. Love it. Can't get enough of it. To get a little more insight, we're going to read what AI Overview has to say about how an Aquarius Pisces cusp works in friendships. So it says, as an Aquarius Pisces cusp, your friendships are characterized by a unique blend of intellectual curiosity and deep emotional sensitivity. Okay. Strengths in friendships: intellect and empathy. Your Aquarius side loves engaging in intellectual conversations about big ideas and social issues. Makes so much sense. While your Pisces side brings emotional depth and intuitive understanding. This allows for friendships that are both intellectually stimulating and emotionally fulfilling. Creative and imaginative, girl, you already know. You bring an abundance of creative and imaginative energy to your relationships. Friends are drawn to your innovative ideas and your artistic way of seeing the world. T, so true. Accepting and non judgmental. Both Aquarius and Pisces are known for their tolerance and acceptance of others, making you a friend who accepts people for exactly who they are. This creates a safe space for your friends to be themselves without fear of judgment. But this is where that Aquarius part of me is dangerous because I literally would cut someone off for not being able to think for themselves. Highly supportive. With your intuitive Pisces nature, you can sense when a friend needs support, and your progressive Aquarius side helps you think of creative solutions to their problems. You are a great listener and powerful source of valuable advice. I hate to say it, but all of this is true. Okay, no more ego stroking. Here's the dirt. The contrasting influences of air, Aquarius, and water, Pisces, can create complexities in your friendships, particularly around communication and emotional needs. The emotional tightrope. I love that title because, yeah, true. Your rational, detached Aquarius side can clash with your deeply emotional, sensitive Pisces side. This can sometimes make you appear hot and cold to friends who might find it confusing. Isolation and feeling misunderstood. Despite being social and having many acquaintances, you can often feel isolated or like no one truly understands you. Oh my God, this is reading me to filth right now. The deep universalist thinking of your Pisces side is often at odds with your logical humanitarian ideals of Aquarius. Communicating emotions. Your Aquarius tendency to address issues logically and directly can feel dismissive or blunt to friends who express themselves more emotionally. Likewise, you can find your friends' emotional needs overwhelming at times. And yes, I have in the past experienced emotional fatigue with past friendships and relationships. They're very intense or dramatic or emotional at all times. I cannot. It tends to exhaust me. By no means am I the type to, you know, need to talk to you every single day. I don't really do phone calls. Love a voice memo. I could be very spotty with the texting, but I do love a good memo. Um, I don't like FaceTiming. I don't like FaceTiming or phone calls just because I feel like it's such an invasion of like you have no idea what I'm doing right now. Like I also have to be in the headspace to take on whatever you are wanting to talk about. So, yeah. Stubbornness. Your fixed Aquarius nature can make you stubborn about your beliefs. While you love a good debate, you can become rigid if your ideas are challenged, which can create conflict with friends. Yeah, but I'm still willing to listen and be open at the end of the day, of course. This is what it says for romantic relationships. They need emotional security, but also value their independence, which can sometimes be a confusing balance for their partner. Yes, 100%. The idealistic dreams of both sides can sometimes clash with the practical realities of a relationship, requiring strong communication to bridge the gap. I am very pro communication, pro let's talk it out, every little thing. I mean, like, I think words can solve everything. Also, one thing about me is that I have absolutely no problem, like, just telling it like it is, saying how I feel, and not caring if it hurts either person's feelings in romantic relationships. I don't know why I'm that way. I just think it's better. Um, but I don't let emotions like dictate my thoughts. Like I am able to communicate really rationally, I guess blunt, like it says, but I feel like that's a good thing. I'd rather communicate like this than sugarcoat and like be like a crazy emotional hot mess and like let my emotions cloud everything, you know? Something that I also run into a lot as well is like my Aquarius walls will go up, but I have that need for emotional expression like deep down, but I can't it's almost like I fuck myself over. I'm like in my own way because I can't let the walls down easily. Like my partner has to literally like yell at me to like tell him what's really the tea, like what's really going on. And then I'll like it'll all come like tumbling down. Only for a second though. And then I'll and we can have an adult mature conversation about it. But yeah, well that completes my little internet chat for the day. Um like I said, this feels pretty good to me. I might keep this going, maybe do something like maybe upload like once a week, talk about like different things that interest me. But okay. Toodles.